For many long years the galaxy lived without the presence of humans. Their cities turned dark, their colonies turned silent, and their star routes became empty lines on ancient maps. It was as if the whole species simply stepped out of existence after the final Great War. No one truly knew what happened. Some believed humanity destroyed itself. Others believed humans left the galaxy to search for a new home. And some whispered that humanity never died, they were only preparing for something greater. But whatever the truth was, one thing remained certain. Humanity disappeared. The galaxy after humans. Life continued but not in peace. Aliens fought for territory, they claimed old human sectors, and they tried to erase the last memory of Earth. But they could never erase the stories. Every species remembered at least one story about humans, stories told in quiet rooms, away from open ears. Stories that were half history, half warning. Stories of soldiers who refused to fall. Stories of engineers who built machines beyond imagination. Stories of captains who fought even when hope was gone. Aliens often said, "Humans build weapons that never break. Humans fight like they are born for impossible battles." Even after humans vanished, the galaxy still respected their name. And feared it. The legends that wouldn't die. In the Kethri Republic, young cadets were warned. Do not study human war tactics at night. Their methods can haunt your dreams. In the Vrax Empire, their emperors used the word human as a threat. If you fail me, humans will return for you. Even the peaceful Ceruleans, who hated violence, kept human armor in their museums. They called it the skin of iron spirits. Everywhere, every species had their own version of the human legend. They remembered how humans fought the last war, burning their own ships to block enemy fire, turning planets into defenses, and standing against fleets 10 times larger. Some aliens admired them. Some feared them. But no one ever forgot them. The strange silence before the storm. With humanity gone, the galaxy slowly felt safer. The wars became smaller. Empires settled into their old borders. Trade routes opened again. Life became calm, predictable, and quiet. But silence is never permanent in space, especially when the silence belongs to humans. The first signal. Everything changed on a cold morning in the far sector of Leora 9. A Varnak listening post, isolated on a tiny frozen moon, picked up something strange, something impossible. A pulse of pure energy. Not natural. Not alien. Not machine made by any known empire. The operator, a young Varnak named Essel, watched the readings in panic. This cannot be right, she whispered. The energy pattern was familiar. Too familiar. It matched old human signatures. But stronger. Cleaner. More advanced. Essel ran a full scan. For a moment she hoped it was a mistake, a glitch, a malfunction. But the numbers didn't lie. Human energy spike detected. Her hands shook. There was only one thing she could do, send an emergency alert to her commanders. Moments later, her message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Fear reawakens. In the Zortal Dominion, the War Council paused their meeting. The High General whispered, "Impossible, humanity is dead." In the Cerulean Harmony, their leaders broke their meditation. One said in fear, "The old spirits are moving again." In the cold mines of the Vrax Empire, prisoners whispered, "Do you feel that? The humans are coming back." And in the hidden chambers of the Kethri Republic, their intelligence officers replayed the signal again and again. One officer stared at the screen and said quietly, "This is not the humanity we knew." Because the signal was too strong, too controlled, too perfect. It was not the energy of an old species returning. It was the energy of something new, something rebuilt, something evolved. The legends come alive. As hours passed, more signals appeared. Small ones, large ones, some too massive to measure. It was like humanity was breathing again. Slowly. Deeply. And every breath echoed across the stars. Alien historians reopened old records. Scientists dug up forgotten data. War generals studied human tactics again. Diplomats sent quick messages to their allies, hoping for protection. Because legends were no longer legends. They were becoming real. And in every corner of the galaxy, one thought spread like fire. If humans have returned, what have they become? A universe holds its breath. No one dared to take action. No one dared to approach the source. Everyone was waiting for the shadow of humanity to reveal itself again. The galaxy had fought many enemies, survived many wars. But nothing scared them more than the unknown power of human will. Now that unknown was rising again. And the galaxy held its breath. Because fear had returned. Hope had returned. Humanity had returned. but no one was ready for what they were about to face. If you want, I can now write. For almost a century, every species believed humanity was gone. But far beyond the edge of any star map, hidden in a place where even light seemed afraid to enter, something massive was being built. It was called the Void Foundry, though no alien had ever seen it, no scanner had ever detected it, and no explorer had ever returned from that region of space. Only one species knew it existed. The humans. A place outside normal space. The Void Foundry was not inside a star system. It was not orbiting a planet. It was not even located in normal space-time. It was built inside a silent region between dimensions, a dark vacuum pocket where energy did not behave normally, where gravity was weak, and where radio waves died before traveling even a few kilometers. To other species, this place looked like empty darkness. To humans, it was the perfect hiding spot. They called it the Black Womb, because from this place new giants would be born. The silent builders. The foundry did not look like a normal shipyard. It was enormous, larger than any alien city, larger than some planets. Its structure was a maze of metallic rings, floating reactors, energy bridges, and magnetic scaffolds stretching into eternity. But the surprising part was not its size. The surprising part was its silence. No alarms. No flashing lights. No workers shouting. No machines roaring. Everything was quiet. Because the humans who built it were not normal workers. They were specialists raised in complete discipline, trained to build in zero gravity, trained to work with nanotech, dark matter cores, and hyperspace materials. Every human engineer in the foundry moved with calm, perfect control. Every action was precise. Every tool was silent. They had one goal: to build the most powerful battlecruisers the galaxy had ever seen. Why humanity hid. A century ago, during the final war, humans discovered something terrible. A threat greater than any alien empire, a danger coming from the deep void between galaxies. A predator that devoured star systems. A force that no alliance could defeat. The aliens thought humanity disappeared because humans were defeated. But the truth was very different. Humans did not run. Humans prepared. They left the main galaxy not for escape but for construction. They needed time, resources, and a quiet place where no one would interrupt them. The Void Foundry became that place. Forging the impossible. In the darkest chamber of the foundry, giant frames of metal floated like the skeletons of ancient beasts. These were the early shapes of the battlecruisers. Each frame was made of a special alloy, an alloy only humans were brave enough to use. A living metal. A self-healing metal. A metal that adapted to heat, pressure, and weapons. Other species had tried to create something similar, but they failed. Humans succeeded because they had something others lacked. Human engineers worked without fear. They shaped the metal with gravity presses, atomic welders, and quantum hammers that rang like distant thunder. Every strike echoed through the foundry like the heartbeat of a giant waking from sleep. Engines that bend reality. In another chamber, a group of scientists worked on something even more unbelievable: the engines. These were not normal hyperdrives. These engines did not push the ship through space. They reshaped space around the ship. When activated, the engines made the ship feel weightless, invisible, and unstoppable. Aliens would mistake the ship for a black hole. Or a star. Or a glitch in reality. Humans designed them like this for a reason. To fight the enemy that did not obey normal physics. The reactors of white silence. At the core of each battlecruiser was a reactor so powerful that humans had to build special containment cages around it. It was a white silence reactor. It produced no heat. No noise. No radiation. It was pure energy compressed inside pure silence. The reactor could power entire cities. But humans connected it to weapons instead. A message engraved in steel. Inside the foundry, one wall held a simple message engraved in metal. Every worker who passed by read it quietly. We are not building ships. We are building hope. For humans, these battlecruisers were not just machines, they were shields for the galaxy, weapons for survival, promises for the future. The First Awakening. After decades of building, the first battlecruiser was finally complete. It floated in the center of the foundry like a sleeping titan, dark, silent, and waiting. Its hull was black like the void. Its wings folded like blades. Its engines glowed with faint white light. Thousands of human workers gathered to witness its awakening. The lead engineer, an old woman with silver hair, touched the ship's hull and whispered, "Wake up." The ship responded. Its lights turned on. Its engines breathed for the first time. The metal skeleton came alive, shifting, morphing, adapting. The battlecruiser opened its eyes. The void holds its breath. The humans watched their creation rise out of the foundry, slow and powerful. It hovered in silence. Then, with a soft pulse, it vanished into the void, leaving nothing behind but a whisper of gravity. The humans smiled. Because they knew. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. But soon, everyone would see. The galaxy had seen many warships in its long history: organic ships, crystal ships, plasma ships, living ships, giant carriers, and small fighters. But none of them prepared the universe for what humanity created inside the void. The first human battlecruiser, known only by its code name Vanguard Zero, was not simply a ship. It was a presence, a shadow, a silent storm, a sleeping monster wrapped in metal. And the moment it came to life, the galaxy unknowingly took its final breath of peace. The Titan wakes. Inside the core dock of the Void Foundry, everything was completely still. Engineers, scientists, tactical officers, and AI technicians floated in zero gravity, staring at the giant structure in front of them. The ship's hull stretched almost 2 kilometers long. Its armor was black like the deepest part of space. It absorbed every ray of light, giving the ship an unnatural, ghost-like form. From a distance it looked like a floating mountain. From up close, it felt like standing next to a creature that had not opened its eyes yet. A young technician whispered, "Is it really alive?" The chief engineer, Commander Ria Solis, smiled slightly. "It will be, in a few moments." Her voice carried pride, fear, and hope, mixed together like only humans could feel. She placed her hand on the activation panel. The first heartbeat. The panel lit up. Silent alarms blinked. Soft pulses of white energy flowed into the ship's core. Then, for the first time in decades, something unusual happened inside the foundry. A vibration. Very faint. Almost gentle. Like the first heartbeat of a newborn. The engineers held their breath. The vibration grew stronger. Lights along the battlecruiser's hull began glowing in thin white lines, forming patterns like veins under skin. "Reactor awakening," reported an AI assistant. "Energy flow stable. White silence core online." The ship breathed. The metal hull expanded slightly, adjusting itself. Thousands of microplates shifted, tightening into a battle-ready configuration. Every alien ship ever built made noise, sparks, heat, movement. But the human battlecruiser made no sound at all. It awakened in pure silence. A weapon that should not exist. As the ship powered up, its systems began connecting with the foundry. Human generals watched from a glass chamber above. Their faces were calm, but their eyes showed fear, not of the ship, but of what this ship would eventually need to fight. Commander Ria continued the activation. "Engage armor intelligence." The hull changed again, becoming sharper, stronger, darker. The adaptive armor could think, react, heal, and reinforce itself at extreme speed. It could survive temperatures close to stars. It could scatter enemy fire like dust in the wind. It could bend light to become nearly invisible. To every species in the galaxy, this technology was impossible. To humans, it was necessary. Engines that bent space. Next came the engines. "Fold engines online," Ria ordered. Space behind the ship twisted. Not bent. Not warped. Twisted. Like reality itself was being squeezed, bent, and folded. Even inside the foundry, people felt the distortion in their bones. A young engineer whispered, "It looks angry." The ship wasn't angry. It was hungry. Hungry to move. Hungry to travel. Hungry to protect. Humans did not create a warship. They created a guardian. The first test. To leave the foundry, the ship had to complete a small test, traveling through a controlled void gate. The gate opened, revealing pitch-black darkness. "Vanguard Zero," Ria said softly. "Do you hear me?" A voice answered. It was not loud. It was not human. It was calm. Almost gentle. "Yes, Commander. I am ready." The engineers froze. The ship's AI, known as Spectre, was fully awake. Ria smiled. "Take your first step." The engines glowed white. Light pulsed down the hull. The ship moved forward, slow, smooth, powerful. As it approached the void gate, gravity swirled around it. Then, boom, the ship vanished. Without sound. Without light. Without any trace. Aliens mistake it for a black hole. Far away, near the edge of the Leora sector, alien fleets were patrolling empty space when their sensors suddenly screamed. A massive gravity spike appeared. Dark. Cold. Unexplainable. "Is it a black hole?" one alien shouted. "No. It's moving." Black holes don't move at that speed. They don't appear out of nothing. And they definitely don't travel in straight lines. The alien commander stared at the readings. He whispered in fear. What kind of monster is that? Then the black hole shifted direction. And from the edge of the distortion for a fraction of a second, the aliens saw a shape. Straight, sharp, metallic, human. But before they could record anything, the ship folded space and disappeared again. Their final report to headquarters said, unknown entity. Not natural. Not alien. Not machine. It is something new. They were wrong. It was something old. Something they had forgotten. Humanity. The galaxy notices. As the ship traveled, its space-folding signature spread across star regions. Empires detected the anomaly. Scientists panicked. Military leaders froze. Because the energy pattern matched ancient human technology, but amplified thousands of times. A Kethri archivist whispered, "This is not a return. This is an evolution." And she was right. The Titan returns to the light. After testing its engines, the Vanguard Zero unfolded back into normal space, near a small, unknown star. Humans monitored the ship from the foundry. Every system was perfect. Every weapon was ready. Every piece of armor pulsed with living energy. Commander Rhea whispered, "It is done." The first human battlecruiser had been born. And out in the galaxy, aliens trembled without knowing why. The Vanguard Zero, humanity's first battlecruiser, moved through space like a silent storm. No sound. No heat. No signature that normal scanners could understand. But every time it folded space, the galaxy felt a small shiver. A tremble. A disturbance. Like something massive was walking across the universe. Alien empires could not see the ship clearly. They only saw the effects: gravity ripples, broken sensor lines, sudden distortions. Enough to cause fear. Enough to cause panic. And panic spread fast. The first emergency meeting. The Kethri Republic was the first to react. Inside their war chamber, 10 commanders looked at the hologram. "This is impossible," one said nervously. "No drive can bend space like this." Another tapped the screen. "Humans could. Long ago." Silence fell. Everyone remembered the stories. Everyone remembered the legends. Commander Tal, the oldest among them, finally spoke. "If this is truly human, we must prepare. Now." The Dominion reacts. In the Zortal Dominion, their Empress watched the incoming reports. Her generals were terrified. "Empress," one said, "the anomaly moved across 3 sectors in 1 hour." "No ship can do that," another added. The Empress whispered, "Humans can." Her throne room fell silent. Fear gripped even the strongest warriors. If humans had returned, then old nightmares were about to become real. The Vrax Empire prepares for war. The Vrax Empire reacted differently. Instead of fear, they felt anger. "How dare these ghosts return?" their warlord growled. He slammed his fist on the table. "Activate Fleet 7. Prepare intercept route. We will block this human shadow." His advisors were not convinced. "But warlord, what if the legends were true? What if their power?" The warlord roared, "Legends do not matter. We will destroy it." It was a mistake. A big one. Alien fleets joined forces. As the anomaly moved across star systems, more fleets joined the effort to stop it. The Cerulean Harmony sent peace cruisers to observe from a distance. The Kethri sent stealth ships. The Dominion sent their elite hunters. The Vrax Empire sent 2 entire battle groups. All of them had one goal: find the thing that was traveling through space. Understand it. Stop it. Possibly destroy it. For the first time in ages, old enemies worked together. But they still had no idea what they were facing. The first sight of the Titan. Finally, near the edge of the Tarlon Nebula, the human battlecruiser unfolded from its warp. The moment it appeared, dozens of alien sensors screamed. A Dominion captain shouted, "What is that shape?" A Cerulean observer whispered, It looks like metal. But the readings say it's absorbing our scans." A Vrax commander stepped back in fear. "That is no ship. That is a fortress." And then, they saw the symbol. A white human handprint glowing faintly on the hull. The entire fleet went silent. One alien finally said the words everyone feared. "Humanity has returned." The coalition tries to communicate. The Ceruleans, being the calmest species, tried to communicate first. "Unknown vessel," their ambassador transmitted. "Identify yourself peacefully." No answer. The Kethri tried next. "Human ship, respond. We wish to talk." Still nothing. The Vrax Empire didn't wait. The first attack. A Vrax destroyer locked onto the human ship. "Fire," its captain ordered. A bright beam shot forward, one of the strongest weapons in the Vrak's arsenal. It hit the Vanguard Zero directly, and did nothing. The beam dissolved into tiny sparks as it touched the adaptive armor. The human ship didn't even slow down. Inside the Vrak's destroyer, panic spread. Impossible. Our cannons can break asteroids. Why didn't it take damage? The young sensor officer trembled. Sir, it didn't even deploy shields. The armor, it ate the attack. The human ship responds. Finally, the human battlecruiser sent a transmission. Only 3 words. Do not engage. The voice was calm, cold, silent. It was the voice of Spectre, the ship's AI. The alien fleets froze. A cerulean captain whispered. It can talk. But the Vrak's warlord didn't stop. Attack again. All ships. The entire Vrak's line fired. Missiles, plasma bolts, disruptor beams. The attack struck the battlecruiser. And again. Nothing happened. The human ship glided through the firestorm like a predator walking through rain. Not a scratch. Not a spark. Like the attacks were never real. The human warning. This time the human ship sent another message. Final warning. Stand down. Those 2 words carried the weight of 1,000 battles. The cold voice of a species that survived extinction. The calm threat of a power that no one understood anymore. The Ceruleans immediately pulled their ships back. The Ketheri disengaged. But the Vrak's commander, blind with pride, screamed. Ram the human ship. 3 Vrak's cruisers charged forward. A fatal mistake. The human ship moves. For the first time the Vanguard Zero acted. It didn't fire guns. It didn't launch missiles. It simply moved. It flickered, jumping a few kilometers instantly without any warp buildup. The Vrak's cruisers missed completely, almost colliding with each other. Aliens watching from afar gasped. That movement is impossible. No species can jump like that without charging. It moved like it was teleporting. They were wrong. It was not teleportation. It was human engineering. The fleet's retreat. After the failed attack, the alien coalition realized the truth. They could not stop the human ship. Not with numbers. Not with weapons. Not with anything they currently had. One by one, ships began retreating. The Ceruleans. The Dominion. The Ketheri. Even the proud Vrak's pulled back in silence. No one dared to attack again. A warning spreads across the stars. Across the galaxy, a single message spread. The humans are back, and their ships cannot be stopped. But none of the aliens knew the full truth. Vanguard Zero was only the first. More were coming. And humanity had not returned for war. They had returned for something far more important. For many weeks, every alien world watched the sky with fear. The humans had returned, stronger, silent, and impossible to understand. Their ships looked like mountains of metal floating through the darkness. Their weapons glowed with a power that no species had ever seen. But through all of this, the humans said nothing. Not a single message. Not a single warning. Just silence. Every government, military, and scientist in the galaxy asked the same question. What do the humans want? The Tarkhan Council's panic. Inside the Great Council Hall of the Tarkhan Alliance, chaos grew like a fire. Admiral Korik slammed his claws on the table. Why are the humans not talking? What are they planning? They could destroy our fleets with one strike. Other council members shouted back. They want revenge for the old war. No, they want resources. Maybe they want to conquer everything. No one knew the truth, and fear made every guess worse. Then a young Tarkhan officer read a new report with shaking hands. Sir, one of the human ships has moved closer. It is sending a small drone. It is unarmed. The room went silent. After thousands of years, humans were finally sending a message. The ancient station awakens. Near the small outpost of Vesseria, an ancient communication station switched on by itself. Its screens lit up with symbols from the past, symbols the galaxy had not seen for generations. The Vesserian operator gasped. It's human code. Old human military code. The message was simple. Attempting peaceful contact. Do not fire. Every alien heart skipped a beat. Peaceful? The most feared species in history wanted peace? But no one trusted it. No one. The first human voice. The drone released a small hologram. A human figure appeared, tall, armored, but calm. Its voice was deep and steady. Greetings. We are the returned. We did not come for war. We came because the galaxy is in danger. The alien observers stared at the hologram, frozen in confusion. Danger? What could frighten humans? Humans did not fear anything. not storms, not wars, not death. So if they were warning the galaxy, something was terribly wrong. The galaxy demands answers. The next day, leaders from 20 alien nations opened a joint channel. They asked one question. Who are you really? The hologram answered with calm honesty. We are descendants of the humans who vanished. We survived in hidden colonies far beyond your borders. We rebuilt. We evolved. We watched the galaxy change. Then the voice grew more serious. And now we must tell you the truth. The war that erased the old humans never truly ended. Shock hit the galaxy like a wave. The old legends said the humans won that war. Others claimed they were destroyed. No one knew the real story. But the hologram continued. Something followed us. Something powerful. Something you are not prepared for. The final line froze every commander across the galaxy. We did not return to conquer you. We returned to save you. Fear turns into a new mystery. The aliens could not understand. For centuries, humanity was remembered as the warriors of the impossible. The ones who never surrendered. The ones who could break empires. So why would such a species want to save anyone? Rumors spread fast. Maybe humans need allies. Maybe the threat is too big even for them. What if they are lying? But deep inside, every species felt something unfamiliar. Hope. If humans were on their side, maybe the galaxy still had a chance. The silence before the storm. After delivering their message, the human holograms disappeared. Their ships returned to quiet formation, waiting in deep space like silent giants. The galaxy waited too. Diplomats prepared questions. Scientists studied every human movement. Generals prepared defense lines. But the humans said nothing more. They simply watched the galaxy, as if expecting an attack at any moment. Something dark was coming. Something ancient. Something even the humans feared. And that fear, that single quiet human fear, spread faster than any fleet. For the first time in history, the galaxy understood. The return of humanity was not the threat. The real threat was still on its way. 4 days the galaxy remained breathless. Everyone waited for the humans to explain more, but their fleet stayed silent. Silent like mountains before a storm. Across thousands of worlds, people whispered. What enemy could scare the humans? What survived the old war? What made the humans return after so many ages? No one had answers. But the humans did. And soon, everyone would learn the truth. The first sign, a star dies wrong. The warning came from the Kalari Observatory. A scientist stared at the screen, her voice trembling. Sir, the star Miriam just collapsed. Her commander frowned. Stars collapse naturally. Not like this, she whispered. It happened too fast. And something came out. Something? Stars did not produce objects. They swallowed them. But on the screen, a dark shape emerged from the dying star. A shadow, massive and unnatural, absorbing the light around it. The scientist whispered only one word. Impossible. The humans react first. Across the galaxy, human ships suddenly moved. No warnings. No orders. No explanations. Their battlecruisers aligned in perfect formation. Their weapons charged with silent energy. The great engines glowed with a bright, white fire. Alien commanders panicked. Why are humans powering weapons? Is this an attack? Prepare shields. It was not an attack. It was fear. For the first time since their return, humans were afraid. A message flashed across every channel. Do not engage. Stay back. Stay far back. Alien leaders demanded answers. What is that thing near Miriam? What are we facing? What is coming? The humans answered with 4 words that froze millions. The old enemy rises. A shadow older than the war. Every alien species believed they knew the history of the Great Human War. But they only knew pieces. Now the full truth was revealed. Many ages ago, the humans had not been fighting other empires. They had not vanished because of political chaos. They had not destroyed their own worlds. They were fighting creatures born from dead stars. Creatures that consumed light. Creatures that fed on energy. Creatures that appeared whenever a star collapsed unnaturally. The Voidborn. When a star dies the wrong way, they awaken. The humans tried to destroy them. The humans almost succeeded. But at a terrible cost. Entire human fleets were lost. Whole colonies vanished. Civilization barely survived. The galaxy never knew the truth. All it saw was humanity disappear. Now the Voidborn had returned. The creature approaches. The shadow from the dead star grew larger, spreading dark waves through space. Its body twisted like a living eclipse, absorbing every particle of light. Viserion sensors went dark. Tarkhan radars failed. Kalari long-range scanners melted. The shadow was not attacking. It was simply existing. And its existence was destruction. One Tarkhan officer screamed. "It's feeding on the star systems. It's getting stronger." Then another voice shouted. "It's turning towards us." The galaxy had faced wars, invasions, plagues, but never anything like this. This was an enemy that did not negotiate, did not think, did not fear. It only consumed. The human commander speaks. Finally, the humans sent a real transmission. A human commander appeared, wearing armor with glowing veins and a dark symbol of ancient war. His voice was calm but heavy. "To the galaxy. This is not a creature you can fight. Your weapons will pass through it. Your shields will fail. Your fleets will burn." Aliens watched in horror. The human continued. "We, the returned, have trained our whole lives for this. Our ancestors died to hold the Voidborn back. Now it is our duty to finish what they could not." He looked to the side as if someone off-screen asked something. Then he said the most terrifying truth. "That thing you see is only a scout." The galaxy froze. A scout? Just a scout? The real swarm was still coming. The rift tears open. Suddenly, the darkness near the dead star split open. Like a wound in the universe. A massive tear appeared, glowing with unnatural purple fire. Inside it were more shadows. Hundreds. Thousands. The Voidborn were crossing into the galaxy again. Alarms screamed across every world. Millions fled into shelters. Fleets tried to prepare for battle. But deep inside they all knew. They couldn't win. Only the humans stood ready. The human commander issued the order. All fleets of the returned. Form the first wall. The human warships moved like a single giant. A wall of glowing metal. A shield of pure light. Then the commander spoke one last line. "To all species, remember your legends. Today humans fight again." And the void screamed as the first wave attacked. Space shook. Not from sound, but from pure force. From the unnatural energy of the Voidborn swarm crossing through the Terran reality. It looked like a storm made of living darkness. Each creature twisted like a shadow with teeth of starlight. Millions of eyes, glowing like dying suns, opened across their bodies. Every alien fleet watched in horror. But the humans did not move back. They moved forward. The first wall of humanity was ready. The battle begins. A single human voice echoed across every human warship. "Engage." The entire first wall fired at once. Beams of white plasma. Hyperrail slugs glowing blue. Particle lances crackling with strange electricity. Solar torpedoes that ignited like mini-stars. The darkness of space exploded into bright colors. The Voidborn swarm screamed. A silent, psychic cry that rattled the minds of every living creature watching. The shockwave traveled through the galaxy like a heartbeat. The enemy had arrived. And the humans had answered. Human weapons that should not exist. Alien captains watched with wide eyes. Human weapons. They were unlike anything known before. Some looked like ancient railguns but fired light instead of metal. Others launched torpedoes that moved faster than sensors could track. Giant cannons on their battlecruisers opened like glowing wings, releasing blasts that cut entire sections of the swarm apart. One alien officer whispered, "Those weapons, we never saw anything like them." Another replied, "That's because humans never planned to use them on us. They were built for these things." The humans had not just prepared for war. They had prepared for this enemy specifically for centuries. The swarm fights back. The Voidborn moved like a hurricane. Dozens of dark creatures broke from the swarm and charged the first wall. Human sensors flickered. Shields glowed bright white as the creatures hit them with burning shadows. Each impact felt like a piece of the universe was breaking. On the human flagship, alarms blared. Voidborn contact. Shields at 82%. "Regenerate them," the commander said calmly. "Hold the wall." He spoke with the same tone someone might use ordering dinner. As if he had expected this level of destruction. As if it was normal. A human ship falls. Then it happened. A smaller human frigate, Horizon 8, was hit by 3 Voidborn at once. The creatures pierced the hull with beams of pure darkness. The ship glowed, cracked, and exploded like a white star. Millions of aliens watching across the galaxy cried out, "Humans are falling. They are breaking the wall." But the humans remained calm. The commander simply said, "Mark the loss. Shift formation. Close the gap." And the wall closed instantly. No chaos. No panic. They were trained for this. Alien commanders realized something chilling. The humans had expected to lose ships. They had been ready for sacrifice. Human superweapon, the Starforge cannons. The commander raised his hand. Bring the Starforge online. A whisper spread across the human fleet. Even the human officers straightened nervously. Starforge. The weapon humans built in secret. The weapon they hoped they would never need to use. Two massive battlecruisers opened their side panels like giant metal blossoms. Inside, glowing cores spun at terrifying speed. The rumum. Beams of pure starfire erupted outward. Where the beams touched the void-born, darkness melted like ice under sunlight. Entire chunks of the swarm were vaporized. Alien fleets gasped. What kind of weapon is that? It looks like a piece of a real star. They forged a star inside their ships? The answer was yes. Humans had built miniature stars inside their battlecruisers. A weapon stolen from nature itself. But the swarm adapts. For a moment it looked like the humans could win. But then, the Voidborn changed. Their shapes twisted, thickened, hardened. The next wave resisted the Starforge fire. They adapted faster than anything in nature. A human officer gasped. Commander, new swarm signature. They are countering our starfire. The commander nodded, unfazed. It was expected. Alien leaders were shocked. Expected? How much have the humans prepared? The Voidborn Titan arrives. The tear in space widened. Something enormous moved behind it. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something that made every creature in the galaxy feel small. A giant hand of darkness pushed through the tear. A limb the size of a moon. Then a massive body followed. Eyes like collapsing stars opened across its surface. The Titan had arrived. Even the humans fell silent. The commander whispered. So the Great One survived. The human last resort. A human AI voice spoke softly. Commander. If the Titan enters fully, we cannot hold the wall. The commander nodded. Then we must push it back before it arrives. How? The officer asked. The commander looked toward the flagship's core. We ignite the Emperor drive. Aliens listening to the transmission felt their hearts drop. What is an Emperor drive? Why do the humans fear using it? The commander activated a secured channel and spoke. All ships. Prepare for drive ignition. Sacrifice protocols engaged. Sacrifice. That one word traveled across the galaxy and turned millions cold. The final moment of Part 7. The humans opened their formation. Their engines glowed brighter than ever. Energy built around every ship like a second sun. The Titan roared. A roar heard not with ears but with the soul. The commander raised his hand. May today be worthy of our ancestors. And he gave the order. Ignite the Emperor drive. Space itself trembled. A light brighter than creation exploded outward. And the screen went white.